because he killed a cop and dumped him in the the tar pits. And then in the end, Bruce Willis kills himself so that the organization can't take him and can't keep going after Jessica Alba. And if it were my decision to let somebody not bother Jessica Alba, I'd be like, I might consider that too. But the whole thing is, it's just like, it works. The whole tone of it is just so dark all the way through, and all the characters have this monologue that goes through their head, which is fantastic. It's just like having like a little comic book panel in the side that's not dialogue. It's just exposition, and it's really nice to hear it in the character's voice and hear what they have to think and what they have to say about a particular situation. Especially Marv. Marv's commentaries are amazing.
I think everyone agrees Marv's was like the best stories.
Marv's was really good. As far as entertaining, Marv's is good. As far as like tragedy and like intrinsic value, I would say that Bruce Willis's arc is probably the better of the arcs.
Yeah. And then there was that one with Clive Owen. I can't remember what happened there.
Yeah, he.
I just saw.
They kill a cop because he was.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's I like that one. It's really Act 2-y, and I'm like it fits. Like Marv, awesome. This one, it's good, but like I said, really Act 2-y. Nothing really happens. Nothing really. I could take it or leave it. And then the end with Bruce Willis wrapping it up from the beginning, very like Tarantino-esque, and
didn't he like produce it or
he helped somehow. But it's, like I said, it was very Tarantino-esque. They set it up in the beginning, and you're just like, okay, that was random, because there's no mention of it until the end. And it was just, it's so dark and gritty and tragic, and again, I'm a fan of tragedy,
Yeah, I just watched that over the summer, and it won't be on my list, but I really did enjoy it. When's the sequel come out? Are they making A Dame to Kill?
I'm not sure. I'll look into it, and I'll probably enjoy it a lot. But until then, I'll keep watching the original Avengers.
Like, I just knew when
Sin City.
Like when I saw that, I'm like, I haven't read the comic, but I could tell like this is probably very, very faithful. Like, I've never seen a comic movie that just looked and felt so much like a comic.
Yeah, it's aside from the Wolverine, where the Wolverine felt like a movie comic, like this is what happened when Wolverine goes to Sin City is a movie where it's just like, this movie is a comic book. Like there's one difference between it, and that's that the pictures can move. That's the difference between Sin City the comic and Sin City the movie.
Yep. So Rodriguez did the
Sin City, awesome movie.
My number 4 will also like your Iron Man, just putting all of those together. I'm just going to put the entire Dark Knight trilogy together.
Yeah, that's a logical step.
Yeah, they are basically telling a single story. Like, Batman gets set up. It is like 3-act structure. Set up. Hero gets into something. Is contrived as I think it might be, and then the third one, he's the resolution. He gets out of it. Everyone's happy. Yay.
Yay.
But yeah, Batman Begins is probably my least favorite. I do like it. I have rewatched it. It is good. People have bitched about me because I said it was just okay, but it is good. So I just don't like the shaky cam that much, and I do like the origin story enough, but I don't, unlike The Amazing Spider-Man, I didn't like watching like the entire first half of the movie about it. Dark Knight, yes, I do think it has some contrived parts. I think the Joker should have died at least 3 times. I think Batman should have died at least 3 times.
Yeah.
But it is a great film, and it has one of the best villains I've ever seen.
I mean, yeah, I like the Scarecrow. The concept of the Scarecrow.
Yeah, I love the Scarecrow.
The concept of the Scarecrow is really cool. Like, it's a guy who does nothing but lives on your fears. That's all he does. And as opposed to the Joker, who, views the world as a stage, and in the end, Bane is just an asshole. Like,
they are all basically.
They all have.
I loved all those villains.
They all have
Ra's al Ghul was kind of meh. Like, they always have two villains, one of them's always better. I love the Scarecrow. That was one of my biggest disappointments with the Batman Begins, because I wanted to see more of the Scarecrow. He's, like, really awesome. Ra's al Ghul is just, nah. He's okay.
I mean, see, the thing is, Scarecrow has, like, just straight up, entertaining villain value. Whereas Ra's al Ghul is, like, you're just like, oh, I can see how he can be a bad guy, but, like, until you get into the fact that he's, like, immortal due to the Lazarus pits, like, there's not really too much.
He's immortal, so he lived through that train crash? Is that
well,
right?
And I don't
Wait,
think...
that was the real Ra's al Ghul in the Rises? I thought that was just a fake
No,
imagination.
in the third, in the Dark Knight continuum, I don't know if he's immortal due to the Lazarus pits, but in the comics and in the video games, he's immortal because he gets wounded, he goes to the Lazarus pit. He cured himself of, no, somebody else cured themselves of cancer just by going to the Lazarus pit. So, like I said, he's just like, the Scarecrow is, you're like, that's a villain. He does something evil and he has plans. Ra's al Ghul, he has plans. He's devious and scheming, but he doesn't really have like that. He doesn't scare me. He doesn't entertain me as a bad guy.
And I like Liam Neeson, don't get me wrong, but no. But yeah, the villains definitely got better with Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Joker, of course, is great. Two-Face was a bit rushed, and I wish they had let him just live and then do something else with him later. But he was kind of tragic. That was kind of depressing.
Yeah.
Bane is very intimidating. Like, that's the thing he has over the Joker. Like, the Joker may be more cunning, but let's face it, if you just had a gun and Batman actually shot people, that guy would have been fucking dead. Would have just fucking died. I still say those mobsters should have just fucking shot him when he put that pencil in that guy's eye.
Yeah, see,
and the movie would have just ended.
See, the whole thing is...
But Bane, I literally think if you shot a gun at him, it would literally just repel off of him.
I don't know. See, the whole thing is, this is the one thing I disagree with Batman. I love Batman, but after a certain point, kill somebody. Like, yeah, I know
he killed people early in the comics.
Like I know
he killed people in the Burton movies.
Yeah, I know it goes against like what Batman does. Like, people killed his parents, and the way to avenge your parents is not to kill them, but to bring them to justice, because you want to bring the guy. But you know what?
Yeah, that worked out well for you.
Yeah, if a dude is killing...
How many times is Arkham Asylum broken? Breakout?
Yeah, like
at least twice in the movies.
How many times have you had to fight the Joker? Like in the comic series and this and that and the other thing? Just kill him. Just stab him in the eye.
You think he would eventually just get the death penalty?
Yeah, you think, but no. He's always categorized as insane, so he goes to Arkham Asylum for retreatment, even though it doesn't work. But that's how the court system works in Arkham. Yay.
That's the thing about these movies. I can complain a lot, but I still think they're great films.
Yeah,
the stuff they do well, they do amazingly well. They actually kind of made it realistic, and in some cases it works. I don't mind Christian Bale's Batman. I like him a lot better as Bruce Wayne. I think he's very charismatic and funny.
Yeah.
And as Batman, I don't think it's like... Batman. Like, only when he's really yelling is it that bad. Batman. I kind of like sort of the funny parts he gets as Batman, like, sure, that's what that feels like. A lot of people hate that one. I kind of laughed.
I don't know. Batman is I like his Bruce Wayne character. His Batman needs a little work, is all I'm saying.
Well, he's done with that now. It's Ben Affleck.
His Batman needs a little work, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, all three of them are very, very good movies as far as I'm concerned.
They are. Despite
their as many nitpicks as I can give them, and the action in some of them is amazing. Just
yeah. All right. Number 3 on my list is something we've actually covered before. Number 3 on my list is actually Captain America: The First Avenger. I love Captain America. I'm like, sue me. Like, Captain America is like one of my favorite superheroes. In fact,
call him bland all you want. He's a patriot in the best regard.
He's like, if you actually read the comics, he's really interesting. Like, the things he goes through.
It was this origin story in First Avenger, yeah, and had time to really get into huge character.
Yeah, now he's going into character development, and the things that Iron Man goes through is, he needs to fix himself, but what Captain America has to do is he has to keep himself from being broken, because he already is the perfect guy. He's a gentleman. He's a super soldier. He messes up sometimes, but that's human. But Captain America, just like in the next movie, like the Winter Soldier, he's like, it's like,
I guess that's another one I'm looking forward to.
I'm really looking forward to that, by the way.
That Days of Future Past and Amazing Spider-Man 2 2014 is gonna be big for comic book movies.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good movie. Like I said, I love Captain America movies. I love Chris Evans as Captain America. He's so wholesome in the correct way. But he's so charismatic. You're just like, I want to pinch his cheeks, but he can also stab me and shoot me and hit me with a shield, which his vibranium shield actually feels like a vibranium shield.
I didn't hate the Fantastic Four movies, but I think Chris Evans does a much better job in this than he did in those.
Yeah, I mean, I like Captain America. That's all I can say. We've already the ending's tragic. I love it. I love tragedy. Moving on. Next,
right.
what's your number 3?
Just one more thing. Hugo Weaving as Red Skull is great.
It is. You are failing. Ah. Yeah, I love angry German people. Whenever there's an angry German person in the film,
I heard yesterday.
It's normally a pretty good time.
What was it? Every German word either sounds angry or
sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
was it you who said that?
It was actually Aaron who said that, and it's good. Like, native German speakers or people who know how to speak German, it doesn't really sound like that, but in with our American ears hearing German, it either sounds like really sexual because it's just a casual tone of voice, or it sounds really angry just because the consonants in Germanic language lends itself to that. So every time we go like ich can walk the class, and every time we hear something like that, we're just like, oh God.
Oh, those wacky Germans.
Oh, those wacky Germans.
Number 3, one you might not know is based on a comic. The Adventures of Tintin, The Secret of the Unicorn. The Steven Spielberg movie he did.
Oh, when was that made?
That was late 2011.
Okay,
and
so
I loved that film.
Like,
that's actually one of my favorite
like,
Steven Spielberg movies.
I'm aware of the comic books, but it's just like it's comics, not like it's like a Sunday morning like cartoon like comic as opposed to comic books.
Technically, Garfield would count as a comic book movie.
Yeah, but the whole thing with Tintin is, I liked it, but I don't know. It's just one of those like.
I can see why some people would just say that. Yeah, it's a fun little movie. I personally just.
It'd be like them making a movie of
I love Spielberg.
Calvin and Hobbes. Actually, I would love that, by the way. Make Calvin and Hobbes the movie, please.
But I just love Spielberg when he has fun. Like, not to say he isn't great when he makes some dramatic stuff. Color Purple, Empire of the Sun, Schindler's List, Lincoln, all great films. But when he just has fun, makes the entertaining blockbuster, that's the one I love. Jurassic Park, E.T., Close Encounters, this. And this is just the purest form of popcorn entertainment blockbuster, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I love Andy Serkis as Captain Haddock. I am the last of the Haddocks. Oh my god, I love him. Tintin is a bit bland, but he's sort of one of those blank slates where you can sort of put yourself into that.
Yeah,
that was what he sort of meant to be.
Yeah, he's
that's
a
what all
character
comic book
designed for
characters.
projecting.
That's what all comic book characters were kind of like in the beginning. Like Superman used to be just perfect, so you could put yourself into him.
Yeah.
But, it's sort of Britishy humor. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost as Thompson and Thompson were great. I love that scene where there's a shootout and then he's like, Mrs. Tomlin, some guy got shot on our doorstep. Not again. Yeah, I just love humor like that, and it has one of the best action scenes I've seen of the decade so far with that chase in Monte Carlo.
Oh,
it's all in one take. Every time I watch that, my mouth is open. Like, I know this is animation, but how the fuck did you choreograph that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I get why some people are just towards it, but it's not a. It's at least not an animated film that talks down to its audience.
I don't know.
It's not a kid's film.
For me, it's just one of those like pip pip cheerio kind of movies. It's just like one of those like, So it's kind of hard for me to get in the mood to want to watch.